welcome back. It's Uncle Destiny here with you. It's time for our May reading to see what this month holds for everyone. Now I want to remind everyone that this is a general reading, so it applies to a lot of people. Some of the details are for you and some aren't. For more personalized and more directed reading, check my information out at the website below, which at some point within this next month I will be putting up a how to contact me and what you can expect from a bone reading details there. You should also take a look at my YouTube channel where I do a reading for someone as an individual, so you can see that as well. Now, we're going to be going into this month of May, which for many in the Northern Hemisphere is also the spirit time of Beltane. So I want to remind everyone that everyone in the Southern Hemisphere is now also going into fall. So the energies here are balancing themselves out in the areas of both life and death. So let's see what the ancestors have to say for our world, which is two different ends. Alrighty. So everything that ends up off the reading surface is not part of the reading. So got a few things that aren't there. We have a partial on, partial off. So that one will be one we're going to talk about in a bit. So what we have here is with our main bones, which are actually quite spread out, shows that the primary areas of family, work, and home are all moving in their own directions. So they're not really going to be you're not going to be looking at these things interacting with each other the way they have in the past. You're going to be faced with something you're going to have to face each of these things separately. Now, the ones here with family, there's very few of the support bones around it, except for over here, which shows that and in a way it does create a sort of trail into the others, but again it is a separate entity. That the situation here, and it's also proximity to the copper, indicates that there's going to be some divine influence towards what you're working on here and with the support. Especially in the aspect of things are kind of getting funneled in a way with the way that they're shaped inward towards the bone, but since there's so much emptiness here, I would actually say that it's being focused outward. So this is going to be there's going to be more time required here to find the balance in what spirit is talking about with your family. Find what spirit is trying to redirect in the work that's going on with your family. If you recall, last month I said that there's a lot of issues around what people's core identities are, and that those are getting shaken up. Best thing you can do right now, because we're still going to be having fallout from that, is asking what does spirit, what does the ancestors have to say about this change, let alone where your place is in all of this. The influence of spirit is most important here. And I will also forewarn you, it can be very turbulent as well, because we have the broken rib bone there. So, with family, it's still going to be unstable time. But remember, look to spirit, look to the ancestors, and they will guide you through it. And they are deep within this situation as well. Now, when we move into this one, which is the work bone, no, that's the home bone, sorry. That's the work bone over there. We have much more of the support bone structure around it. And this one's going to be a balancing trick, just as the previous one was a balancing trick. But in the fact that you have a course of action that's going to come to you. You can follow the straight one path that's before you, or you could follow the curved path that comes here with these support bones. And it's a multiple jointed one, so there's a lot of little details that come together, a lot of little actions that come together. The problem is that if you take this little actioned point pathway, that leads to this, that leads to this, that leads to this, that leads to this, you're going to find yourself coming to a point of disruption. And this is the other piece of the broken rib bone, the much sharper one, versus the straight path, the path that is tried and true. So you will have a choice in what you're going to do around home. There is either going to be a path that you must follow, that you can follow straight away, you can see what's going to be going on, it's a long-term path, or you can go with the little shifts here and there and little projects and so forth, but they're not going to lead you in the path that you think. There's disruption there. Now, over here to the work bone. This one, once again, it's a very separate location. There is new potential that's coming in here with this bone, which looks like the pelvic bone, or at least the bone at the top of the spine, that is feeding into this situation here. There is new potential, but it's still distant. It's still a ways out. And the thing is about with the way this one's laid out is that there are a lot of separate pieces that are pulling together, but also floating around that are disconnected. So there's going to be a disconnect around the subject of work in this next month. There will be support there. So you may be looking at projects that are suddenly held up in limbo because somebody's either on vacation or there's been a natural disaster in some place that's holding up supplies that's keeping you from moving forward. Or the fact that someone in power has decided, oh, I don't particularly care for that project right now. So that's going to have a lot of issues going around there with work. But there's also that standpoint that you're going to connect with things differently. So we move into our bones that are off to the sides. This particular one, which we have partially on, partially off, which is also connected to the support bone, indicates, especially with where it's lining up with work, is that there is definitely big movement, and I'd see this one's more towards the summer points, where you're going to find not only more support, but more direction, more maybe even more course of action, say changing jobs, or moving up in your job there. But that's coming more towards the summer solstice period. And with it also comes the aspect of nourishment, because we have one of the tooth bones here. So there is going to be an aspect, and which is kind of convenient, especially because it feeds into this bone here, which was our new beginnings. So looking more towards the summer months, and I would say June, to see a change that's going to be a little more substantial for you. So it's a lot more of a cruising time in May. Our other bone over here, which is sort of sitting out in the boonies, and again comes into the aspect of the family, indicates issues, and I'm going to say that this one is definitely talking more about June, around Father's Day. So there's going to be things that need to be reconciled along the masculine line of the family. So that's about it for what the ancestors have to say for the month of May. Tune in again for the reading for June and the summer solstice. So this is Uncle Destiny, and on behalf of the ancestors and the spirits, bless you, and Ashe.